Would I be the a-hole if I confronted my mother's affair partner? I should probably be talking to a therapist about this, but that stuff's expensive, so I'm turning to the good people of Reddit to help me emotionally process WTF is going on. My father was recently diagnosed with dementia, and while he has his faults, he has always been an amazing father. We are very close, and I love him deeply. He and my mother have been together for 40 years, and he still loves her very much. She, however, feels differently. She is not coping well at all with his diagnosis and struggles to be independent, as he has always taken care of pretty much all the adult things, bills, house chores, etc. Now that he is no longer capable of this, and he's not the same person that he was, my mother is very depressed and behaving in a self-destructive manner. To cut a long story short, a few months ago my mother told me that she had been having an affair with her best friend's partner for the last 6 months. They are all in business together, which is how they met. I've only met affair partner once, when my mother's friend brought him to my niece's birthday party. My sister also knows about the affair and thinks that affair partner is a manipulative a-hole. My brother and other sister do not know about the affair but agree with my sister's assessment of affair partner. Affair partner has a reputation for womanizing, and my sister and I both believe that he has fully taken advantage of my mother's situation to pursue the affair. This does not excuse my mother's actions, which are also unforgivable and causing a lot of friction between her and my sister. I am probably not as angry, but am finding it extremely difficult to even speak to my mother. I just can't even look at her after finding out. She is quite emotionally immature and naive about the whole situation. The part that is very distressing for both my sister and I is that my mother is parading affair partner around the house that my father paid for, drinking his beer and eating his food while my father hosts him with absolutely no idea of what's going on. Father thinks that affair partner is just in business with my mother and their friend, which is why he is around so often. The dilemma I have is that it's impossible to talk to my mother about any of this, as she has a tendency to get very defensive and aggressive about any kind of criticism, no matter how gentle or constructive. She has always been this way, but since my father's diagnosis and her depression, she has gotten a lot worse, and even been physically abusive at times. She is not in a good frame of mind to have any kind of conversation about her behavior, and in any case it would not be enough to stop the affair. I live abroad and therefore am not as involved in the situation as my sister, but I know that if I see affair partner when I come back to visit, I visit regularly, I will find it extremely difficult to keep quiet. The lack of respect that the pair of them have towards my father is completely unacceptable. Affair partner's longtime girlfriend also happens to be my ex-boss, and while we are not super close, we have always been very friendly and get on well to this day. She is a good person and does not deserve this. What I really want to do, if affair partner dares to set foot in my parents' house again, is tell him that I know all about the affair, and if he doesn't leave my mother alone, I will tell his girlfriend everything. I know this will cause fallout with my mother later, which I'm not so concerned about. But while I can't stand watching my father be disrespected, I also really don't want him to find out about the affair. Purely because he will be absolutely heartbroken, and he deserves to live out the remainder of his days in relative comfort and happiness. I think the threat will be enough to deter affair partner, as he relies on his girlfriend financially and can't really afford to lose her. My mother has very little money, as my father has most of it, and my siblings and I will inherit it when he passes away. This is the only way I can think of that will cause minimal confrontation and damage. So, Reddit, would I be the a-hole for threatening to expose my mother's affair if affair partner doesn't leave her alone?